All right, happy Tuesday, a somewhat rare Tuesday edition of A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. I've got Naz beside me. Diego is upstairs prepping for the 7 p.m. match today, which is Czechia and... is it Czechia? No. You just said Czechia.
Was it?
No, it's Croatia. Panama, Croatia. So we have just finished up the scoreless draw with England and Ghana. Good crowd for a random Tuesday early afternoon. And so Diego's up there tirelessly working away there. And we get the fun job of hanging out and talking soccer.
Yes.
Plenty of World Cup action, but as always, I will ask, how was the weekend? What have you been up to?
The weekend was good. Since I took off the half day on Friday, it felt like a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
We were on our way back from the Palisades Mall on Saturday, and I'm just thinking, like, it's 5 o'clock. I was like, all right, we can get the brewery at 5:30. They close at 6, but they might stay open for the thing. And I'm like, oh, it's Saturday. Never mind. They're open till like midnight.
And it's funny, a lot of employers have started going to like summer hours where, most Fridays are, half days or early exits, a couple hours. And obviously when it surrounds the World Cup and a successful U.S. World Cup, it's been even better.
Yeah, I heard you guys are trying to close down the street again.
Not trying. We're doing it.
Okay.
I
told my coworker, I'm like, if they keep doing this, we're going to run out of PTO hours.
That'll be a late kickoff.
Yeah, I should be out on that Wednesday. I should be there at 3.
That's more than enough time. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we always value your input and your help and your hours.
Yeah,
but
I really enjoyed it.
But it should be an 8 p.m. kickoff. So I don't. They will not be back on the East Coast, really, ever in my thought process. But they could be in the final at MetLife. Yeah. Who knows?
Well, isn't there was like something about like maybe playing a game in Philly or something?
No, not now. Based on them winning the group.
Okay.
So their next group stage game on Thursday will be out in California.
It was a little unfair to the East Coast. You got a home field advantage, and you're not taking.
I mean, they have a home field advantage everywhere they are. Yeah. So in theory.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, if anything, because you're playing games on the East Coast, the West Coast, and mid, right? Because Kansas City.
Right.
I mean, you can play one each. East, West, mid.
No. So the way it worked out, at least for the group stage, they did break all the sites into regions.
Correct.
So there's West, Central, East. So every group is only in.
I mean, it makes sense. It cuts down on travel. There's no time. There's no time difference.
But also, there are so many permutations with all these third place teams. Like they could have been in Philly on I don't know, the 3rd or 4th of July if they,
I think that might be a bot.
I'm not sure, but if not, thank you very much for the kind words, Bradley. So the way it worked out, if because there's first place and second place in the group and the potential of all these third place permutations, it definitely, there's no ill intent either way. It's just the luck of the draw and how the stadiums and scheduling worked out. So their round of 32 match will be in California at, I think, in Santa Clara. So where, Levi Stadium where the 49ers play. Their round of 16 match would be up in Seattle.
Yep.
Their quarterfinal match would be, I believe, down at SoFi Stadium in LA. And then, at that point, the semifinal is in Arlington, Texas. And then either the final in MetLife or the third place match, which I believe is either Atlanta or Miami. But that's how things shake out there.
And thank you for the follow.
Yeah, thanks for the follow. So I think we've proven you wrong. Not a bot. So Bradley, appreciate it. I don't know.
I think it's a bot.
Really?
Yep.
I mean, the only thing that's throwing me off is the font here, but
account created today.
Either way. All right. Well, so let's get into it. We are going to do this. I guess we'll go group by group because there's been plenty of action. Not all of it, mind-boggling and ratings grabbing. But let's start with Group A. That is Mexico, South Korea, Czechia, and South Africa. Mexico has officially won the group by virtue of their victory, 1-0 victory over South Korea on a.
Did you catch that match?
I did.
It was
lackluster.
Yeah, like I feel like
goalkeeping error for the goal.
I feel like even when Korea had the ball, they just slowly would pass.
Yeah.
Work it down the field and just go from there. So
yeah, it was definitely, this is kind of the bad side of these huge groups, and especially when both teams already have a win and 3 points. They're not necessarily as motivated to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Obviously, for South Korea, it did not work out in their favor, and they took the gamble and lost.
Yeah, what was their? Do you know what their possession was in the game?
I could probably grab it right
because it was
57% possession for South Korea.
I think it was because just how slow South Korea was playing, it felt like longer.
Yeah, Son Heung-min did not have a great match, showing his age a little bit. You could say, but the obviously playing in front of Mexican fans, in Mexico for a World Cup, is certainly a factor. With that, but yes, so Mexico, the first team to have advanced into the round of 32.
Yep.
They will finish up with their match against. Let me just bring this up now. Should be in a couple days' time, right? Tomorrow. Tomorrow they will play Czechia at 9 p.m. So this round coming, the final group stage round, just for those of you that don't know, all the matches within the group will be at the same time. So South Africa will also be playing South Korea at 9 p.m. All these times, crazy. By the way, are Eastern.
So much for watching every game.
Yeah, you know what? It's.
I mean, I understand.
In theory, so you don't know the other result. Although with technology now, I'm sure they're all got earbuds, or someone on the technical staff is getting those scores. But it's supposed to limit the potential for
a boring game,
match fixing, or hey, you know what?
The
other game, we already know the result. A tie is fine for both of us.
Let's play a game of kick around.
Exactly, which has happened in World Cups in the past.
Yeah.
So in theory, it's a great idea. In practice, obviously, there are some issues with it. But moving on to Group B, on the heels of a 6-0 drubbing of Qatar, Canada are in the lead in that group right now. Canada on 4 points, as are Switzerland, also on 4 points. Bosnia and Herzegovina and Qatar also still in the mix, both on 1 point each.
Yep. I don't know. People are like, "Oh, Canada had a great game," and it's like, I think Qatar just had a bad game.
Yeah, I mean,
like 2 red cards, nasty tackles.
Yeah,
it was not good.
No.
Canada also lost their player.
Yeah, Kone. Yep.
Which I heard is rough for the player because he was being looked at in the offseason.
Yeah. I mean, most of these guys are, obviously they're playing for the pride of their country, but, a World Cup is a huge opportunity to put yourself in the shop window, especially if you are playing in a, quote unquote lower league. All the eyes are on you now, as opposed to, playing in, I don't know where Kone was playing, but, in some of these smaller or less scouted leagues. As far as this goes, this holds potentially a lot of impact for U.S. fans as well. I believe of all the permutations, there's like a 65% chance that the U.S. will play the third place team in Group B. So if there is a winner between Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Qatar, more than likely that will be their opponent.
Yep.
So a lot of eyes on that group now that a lot of the permutations have been started to clear up a little bit. With that. Any overall thoughts? On Switzerland, Granit Xhaka. I know he's a former Arsenal guy. So a lot of Arsenal fans do kind of follow Switzerland, oddly enough, with that. But that interesting matchup could spell trouble for the loser of that match. Where am I here? Those matches will be 3 p.m. tomorrow. Switzerland, Canada, and Bosnia and Herzegovina versus Qatar. What do you think? Does Switzerland have a chance to peg the hosts back here? And the Google odds makers think so. It's a 40% chance for Switzerland to win, 30% draw, 30% Canada win. I believe a draw would leave Canada in first place in the group. So for whatever that's worth. Let's move over to Group C. Hugely interesting bracket, I guess you could say, mostly buoyed by Scotland's surprise victory against Haiti in the opener. That was a John McGinn goal. Brazil and Morocco drew their opener and then each won their second match. So 4 points each for Brazil and Morocco, 3 points for Scotland, and no points for Haiti. They are officially eliminated from the World Cup. Excuse me. Brazil lead based on goal differential and goals scored. But what do we think of this Brazil team? They are the team that I picked to win the World Cup. So, a little bit of a surprise for them. But, a lot of countries, not this World Cup excluded, grow into the tournament. So
yeah, as you saw, the first round for many countries were not what we expected.
Yeah.
And it brought a lot of surprises. So when it comes to Brazil, I feel like they just gotta dust themselves off. Again, that last game did allow them to do that. Yeah. The problem is questions going forward. My issue is they don't look as smooth as they normally do. But then again, that's also the Brazil of old, right? Because the Brazil of old, their play style was specifically smooth football.
And let's not forget, so again, Carlo Ancelotti is the first non-Brazilian manager in the nation's history. He has not been on the job that long. So, this is going to be an adjustment period for all of them. And the hope among Brazil fans and players and manager is that they will, every day that they're together at this World Cup, they continue to grow together.
Yes.
And continue to improve on that. So 2 first half goals from Matheus Cunha. Vinny Jr. scored one also right before the half. And Vinny's starting to look good. I'm on record. I'm not a huge fan of him in general.
No.
But I do acknowledge that he's got incredible talent, in him.
It's weird. Most of those, at least nowadays, most of the young players that gain the star roles, especially the ones that go to Real Madrid, Barcelona, tend to have that arrogance to them. But we've had this conversation before. You sort of have to.
You have to. You're always betting on yourself. Obviously. Anyone in the U.S. that's watching the World Cup has gotten plenty of screen time for Alexi Lalas and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And honestly, to some extent, Thierry Henry. They have that arrogance because they have done it.
Yeah.
They've done it at the top level. Obviously, more so with Zlatan and Henry compared to Alexi Lalas.
Yeah, Zlatan has never changed, though. He's been that way from day one.
Oh, yeah. But again, he's bet on himself and had a very successful career.
I can't get behind the guy. I like that he's a commentator now. It's interesting to see his point of views on things. But back when he was playing for LA and you heard the whole LeBron saga?
Yeah, but
sending him the jersey, he signs the jersey and sends it back to him.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I also, I think we subconsciously kind of downgrade Zlatan's career just because it's kind of worked perfectly alongside Cristiano and Lionel Messi. The man has scored over 500 goals in his career. If it were not for his career coinciding with those two players, I think Lewandowski is another guy that is in that kind of similar boat. We'd be looking at Lewandowski and Zlatan as two of the all-time great finishers and strikers, and which they may very well still be. Despite that, but it's similar in my eyes to just because you're a Messi fan, apparently automatically means that you hate Cristiano Ronaldo, or vice versa. both can be true at the same time. They can both be fantastic players. And just because you favor one over the other doesn't mean that you think the other one is a terrible player or human being. It's just, that's the way the world works now with social media and everything else that goes on with it. So it's all hot takes all the time now. But Brazil will finish their group stage with Scotland. These matches are, when are they? Today's Tuesday, so Thursday? Do I have that right?
Yeah.
No. Where am I? Oh, they're also tomorrow. I forgot there's 3 groups finishing up tomorrow. Jeez. So that is the 6 o'clock Eastern time slot, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland, Brazil. So that'll, I'm trying to see what scenarios need to happen. I mean, Morocco needs to make up a couple goals here in order to overtake Brazil for the first place in that group.
Yeah.
But, they obviously, playing against Haiti, stand a better shot of doing that as opposed to playing against Scotland. I would not be completely surprised, despite me picking Brazil to win the World Cup, I would not be completely surprised to see Scotland maybe pull a draw off here. Yeah. They've got a lot of momentum going despite their loss to Morocco. But, you never know. Now let's move on to Group D. The group that includes qualified for a round of 32 United States of America, 2 impressive victories over Paraguay 4-1 in the opener, and then a 2-0 victory over Australia on Friday, June 19th. So they will finish with already eliminated Turkey on Wednesday.
Yep.
No, Thursday. I'm all over the place. Yeah, I go to one World Cup game, and I don't remember what day it is.
Well, I mean, again, like you said, it doesn't help that there's now, even though there's now 6 games on a day instead of 4.
Right.
And 3 of which, or 2 of each one are playing at the same exact time.
So Turkey and USA will play at 10 p.m., as will Paraguay, Australia. Let's take our first real deep dive here. What have you thought? Obviously, we've already talked about the Paraguay match in our last show. U.S. Australia, what'd you think?
Listen, I'm just riding the train.
Yeah,
I'm at the point where we've had our opinions of the USA. We've talked about them before the event. We've talked about them at the beginning of the event. I'm just riding the train that is them winning. I hope they beat Turkey, which would then be their first ever 3 wins.
Yep.
In a competition, which would be great, and then they move on to the round of 32.
Yeah. So a couple interesting facts that have been kind of making the rounds. The U.S. obviously has won 2 consecutive World Cup matches in their first 2 group stage matches. The last time they've won 2 consecutive World Cup matches were their first 2 World Cup matches in 1930. So to have done that, Pochettino is already, I think, the 3rd all-time winningest U.S. coach in World Cup play.
Good old Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Are you not entertained?
You know what?
Are you not entertained?
Obviously, I'm on record. I thought the Pochettino hire was an incredible pull from day one. There were some issues. Yeah. Obviously, a manager in his first international job. The U.S. is just a very tough nut to crack with the lack of familiarity with a lot of the MLS rules and things. How things shake out there. But I think he's got this pretty well nailed down. The players seem to love playing for him. He's really after some I don't want to say strange comments, but some interesting comments that he made that may have been taken a little bit out of context. He really seems to be dialed in. Most of the fans love him. The press seems to like him, and this could be a perfect storm of great manager, good players playing great, hosting a World Cup, and like I said, I think they will get knocked out in the round of 16. Despite their performance so far, I still kind of think that, but I would not be surprised with a couple lucky breaks here or there to make a semifinal. I don't think is out of the realm of possibility or even like a shocking revelation. I think if you told me even right now, hey, yeah, U.S. makes a semifinal, I said, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, I'm in with that. I I don't think that's.
See, that's one of the things.
of.
Like a lot of people are like, well, what if they don't win the semifinal? It's like, yes, but you got to remember that there's a third place game in the World Cup.
Right.
They still get to play. If they make a semifinal, they still get to play soccer.
Even if there's not, for the U.S. to make a semifinal.
The first time in history.
Did they?
They made a quarterfinal.
No, 1930. They finished third place. It was an 7 or 8 team World Cup. Yeah. So we have to qualify that. But I think to make it this far, or to potentially make it that far, is an absolutely incredible experience. I think it would go down in history as the best World Cup by far in U.S. history.
I mean, if you want to catapult soccer in the United States, you make it
host a World Cup and do well in it. I was actually, I haven't read it yet, but a great U.S. based soccer reporter just released an article on his Substack. So his name is Michael Lewis, and the premise of the article is comparing, even though we've hosted a World Cup before, comparing this World Cup run while hosting to South Korea in 2002 when they hosted, and the comparisons and the similarities and differences. So I do have that article saved in my up to read list, but the comparisons are there for sure, and I think that with where the 94 World Cup made soccer a sport in America, this World Cup and a lot of other things surrounding it could push soccer to the second or third most popular sport in the country. I don't think it ever overtakes the NFL.
I mean, again, it already overtook hockey. It became the fourth top sport.
Yep. And I think just with time alone, it will overtake baseball in the sense that baseball tends to be an older fandom sport.
I don't know. I feel like if you put it, I think it's football, baseball, basketball. I think it overtakes basketball. It could overtake basketball.
I think in 10 years from now it'll be basketball becoming more popular along with soccer.
All right. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the thing is baseball's been so far around, and it is America's pastime that I don't feel like it can.
Yeah, but I think overall, watching the sport of baseball, despite the lengths they've taken to try to make it more dynamic and more interesting and quicker for the younger fan base, it's even kids that I know around town that play baseball, they don't enjoy watching baseball as much. I think basketball obviously has a lot of that energy. Obviously, we saw firsthand what it's like when your local team is doing well with the Knicks run that they had. So I think that all that momentum is there for basketball. But soccer, we've talked about it, between the video game and cards and stickers and American ownership groups or American athletes from other sports buying into soccer now. I think it is really kind of in the lexicon and in mainstream now as a sport.
I think the other issue too is that we also have to remember that baseball is not a global sport. It's not. It's big in the US. It's big in Latin America, and it's big in Japan and Korea.
Yep.
But that's it. It's not big in Europe. Cricket's bigger in Europe.
Oh yeah.
Right. So that's the thing is like if there was a way for them to catapult that, they'd have to get on the international stage.
Yeah. And they've tried it with the WBC, the World Baseball Classic.
Yep. But again, that's always Japan, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, U.S., Japan.
For what it's worth, obviously there's a difference between popularity and success, but you could make a similar argument for soccer in that they've been playing the World Cup for 100 years. Yeah. 8 teams have won it.
Yeah.
So, again,
I'm talking about the teams that are in it.
Exactly.
I'm talking about teams that are in it.
I agree.
Again, like we're going back to the days of there was only 8 teams in the World Cup.
Yeah.
That's where we are now with the World Baseball Classic.
Right. And for the record, I'm also saying that just because there's only 8 teams have won the World Cup let me deem that as quote unquote success.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean it's not wildly popular in these other countries.
No.
As we've seen, you look at
like I said, I think,
Slovenia, you look at Czechia, you look at Venezuela, which happens to also be a big baseball country. But you look at these small countries that have had little to no success on the world stage, and it's still a national sport for them. So
like I said,
it's a
I
little
think,
bit disingenuous.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the discussions that we just agree to disagree on because, like, again, as much as I can see your point of view and the fact that soccer takes over, I'm also thinking on a 9 times out of 10 your kids are playing soccer when they grow up. So you have so many people that are paying attention to soccer and playing soccer at the beginning stages that it just fades.
Right.
And that's my main issue.
I also think culturally we're now at a point where this is really, in my eyes, the first generation of kids who have American parents that grew up playing soccer.
Correct. Yeah.
So our generation, most obviously my parents are American, but I grew up with the game. But most people that were playing soccer my age or a little bit older, that were fanatical about it, are first generation, maybe second generation Americans. So we're now a whole nother generation behind that, and we have quote unquote generational Americans now that are growing up playing soccer, which is I think we underestimate that, but again, we won't know what the results of that are.
Another issue that I'm seeing though is, again, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't know about the USL.
Right.
I wouldn't know about the Brooklyn's team. I wouldn't know about Westchester team. But when it comes to baseball, I know that every single team has a AAA, high A, a single A, a AAA, a double A, and then
that's
interleagues.
a little bit more ingrained.
It's like, hey, you can pick up and go to a baseball game because they're right down the road. For me, it's like, where's the soccer games?
Yeah.
Oh, I have. Okay.
No, and that's a fair point.
Yeah.
You could make maybe not to that a super successful argument, but similar in English soccer. Obviously, Arsenal. Let's use Arsenal for instance, because you're an Arsenal supporter. You get people from. Actually, we've had someone in the brewery before. Lives in Brighton. Mm-hmm. He's an Arsenal fan.
Yep.
Because when he grew up, Brighton was in the 3rd, 4th, 5th division, whatever it was.
No, it makes sense.
And again, he was aware that Brighton existed, but he didn't support them.
But the thing is, you could still in England they have so many teams. You can still go down the road and watch a soccer game. So here, it's not as frequent.
You could do that.
I could.
You just
it's not as popular.
You're not seeking it out.
Correct. It's not as popular as the lower leagues of baseball.
Yes. No, I think that's a fair argument. But again,
if
the lower leagues
they
of
want
baseball
to grow,
also have a 75-year head start on lower leagues.
Again, that's another thing I'm thinking of. If soccer wants to catapult, is to get more voice on there at the lower leagues.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
All right. So U.S. plays Turkey in a essentially meaningless match, other than for the hope of keeping a win streak going and more points.
Yeah.
The USA has clinched, as we said, first place in the group. Australia against Paraguay will be an interesting matchup as well. For those of you that didn't catch it, Paraguay's and who he also plays in the MLS, Miguel Almiron, was the first ever straight red card for covering their mouth while speaking to an opponent.
Yeah.
I'm not wild about the rule, but I do give them credit for
sticking to
setting it out and sticking to it.
I don't know. I feel like
I'm okay with it being a yellow card. I'm
okay with it being a card. I'm okay with it being a card. The problem is like, how do you know what he said?
Right.
Right. My other issue. My other issue is if somebody's trying to give. If I'm talking to my teammate,
that's okay.
No. What if there's a player next to him?
Yeah, well,
the player could be like, he just said something to me, and then they believe him.
Yeah, I mean,
right? Like at that point, do they review it? Like, do they? I'm talking to my teammate here.
I think.
Well, you have a player next to him.
No, it certainly opens up a lot of gray area.
Yeah, I'm trying to talk strategy with my teammate. Like, are we going to do two? Are you taking the kick? Am I taking the kick? Like,
to play devil's advocate,
yeah.
Let's say players A and B from team 1 are talking to each other or are near each other, and player C from team 2 walks by, and something inappropriate is said. Yeah. And the response is, no, I was just talking to my teammate. Yeah. So
it goes both ways. But then again, that's why I'd rather prefer it to be a yellow card than a red card.
I agree.
Because again, it's more severe on the side getting the card than it is on what's said to the player. Yeah. That's my opinion.
I agree. I'm, and it's also, this has been kind of a rather quick knee-jerk reaction going back to the Vinny Jr. Issue in the Champions League match against I
remember the guy said
Benfica, Porto. It was a Portuguese team. I don't recall.
It was Benfica.
So I understand that it is something that just derogatory, racist, homophobic comments have been an issue for years now in the game. I acknowledge and applaud them for trying to do something to legislate it out of the match. Yeah. Time will tell if this is the right way to do it. That being said, we've played 40-something matches so far in the World Cup. And then the fact that it's only happened once tells me they're doing something right.
Not necessarily, because again, it's only your team has only played 2 matches. Just because there's 40 matches and no one else is putting their hand up to the thing doesn't mean there's something wrong. There's only been 2 matches for them to implement it per team. So the players themselves have only had 2 matches with it.
Yeah, but
that's the thing.
But the point is, and for those of you that don't know, and I don't know if you know this either,
I get it.
Every team, when the World Cup starts, when they're in camp, before they've played any matches, they have meetings with the referees of the World Cup. Okay. I don't know if it's individual referees or
and the referees go over what you can and can't do.
And the referees are going over the points of emphasis, and they have come out and said, "Hey, listen, if you do this, you're gonna see red."
No. Like I said, I think. My opinion on it is, like you said, it should be a yellow card, and I'll leave it at that, because again, I feel like there could be things taken the wrong way. There hasn't, right? Again, you said we've played 42, but in the player's point of view, they've only played 2 matches with this rule.
Yeah, that's a fair criticism.
Nobody has done it on accident, like, oh shit.
Yeah. Well, that's always my fear is stuff like that. You see it with the new replay rules for baseball and stuff like that. Or I remember years back with baseball when you couldn't step out of the box. Yeah, and that was a strike. And then so that created a lot of
and like now the challenging now and all that.
Any new rule is going to have its hiccups, especially when the first real implementation of it is
and that's the thing.
The highest level.
Correct.
It could open up some unfortunate incidents. But
red card given. Feels a little harsh.
No, I agree. But for what it's worth, I didn't hear anything from the Paraguay, team and staff. Hey, this was unfair. This was, So, it was okay. Yeah, we took it on the chin. Yeah.
Well, like you said, they've told you it so many times.
They did win that game.
Yeah.
So
that might be why they're counting it down.
Helpful,
Had they lost, I'm pretty sure we'd be hearing about it.
All right, let's head over to Group E. Leading this group with 9 goals over their 2 matches is Germany with 6 points. Côte d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast, is in second place with 3 points. Ecuador and Curacao both level on 1 point. So Germany had a 7-1 victory over Curacao, not to be outshadowed by Curaçao's first ever World Cup goal. And then a late come-from-behind win over Ivory Coast. And that was a brace scored by a substitute whose name is escaping me now. I have to go track this down. Undav, is that his name?
Right there.
Yep. Dennis Undav came on as a sub, scored in the 68th and 94th minute to cancel out Frank Kessier's 30th minute goal. Kessier, a former AC Milan player. And Germany leads the group. They have officially won the group.
Yeah.
And so they will play. Obviously, we have their third group stage matches rather, coming up. That will be on. Are they the first ones to play on
Right
Thursday?
there, Ecuador.
Yeah. So they are in the 4 o'clock time slot. They will play Ecuador as Curacao will play Côte d'Ivoire. And Germany has already been, where are they? Germany will be in the round of 32 on Monday, June 29th. I believe, is this one in Philly? Foxborough, sorry. This game is in the Boston area. Germany has looked very strong. Not as many goals as I'd like for my suspected goal-scoring leader, Kai Havertz.
Yeah.
But they look good. They look pretty organized. I'm a little bit surprised that they conceded that goal against Curacao. It's a feel-good story for most of the World Cup, but for Germany, obviously not happy.
I think at that point they were up 3-4-0 at the time.
No,
they conceded. No, it was 1-1.
No, it was
You're right.
1-1.
It was 1-1. Yeah.
So that was again another nation that under Nagelsmann seems to be growing into the tournament though. Despite looking a little bit dicey at times, they continue to strengthen and move on.
And Curacao got their first ever point.
Yeah.
First ever World Cup point in a game against Ecuador.
Yep. So
got a feel for Ecuador. You'd think they'd come into this game a little bit stronger.
Yeah. So Ecuador will play. Where are we again? There's just so many games. One more. So Ecuador will play Germany again. Yep. Germany with nothing to play for. Will they rest guys? Does Ecuador have a shot? A win for Ecuador, could put them in, very much so into the next round.
I think for again, like we've seen it before. I think the teams that have qualified will put the guys on yellows aside.
Yeah.
Guys that need rest aside. Bring in the second goalkeeper so you get a chance to play in the World Cup.
So for the United States, for instance, they have 4 players on yellow cards, including Tyler Adams.
Yep.
I don't expect any of them to play.
Nope.
Christian Pulisic.
I could see him as a sub, maybe.
I've heard a few arguments for and against. If it were solely up to me, I say don't play him at all. Yeah. But there is the thought process of
now he's cold.
If they rest him, he'll have played 30 minutes in the last 18 days. Yeah. Is it the rest versus rust issue there? So we'll see what Germany winds up doing as well. But Ecuador, very much so, still in play here. I guess technically as are Curacao, but their goal differential is absolutely going to kill them there. Moving on to Group F. Another tight, for me, this is kind of the group of death. It's Netherlands, Japan, Sweden, and Tunisia. Tunisia with 0 points, officially knocked out of the tournament. Netherlands on 4 points lead the group. Japan also on 4 points in second, and Sweden with a bad loss to the Netherlands in third place now with 3 points though. So still.
Yeah, I mean, they win 5-1, they lose 5-1. It's crazy.
Yep. So this is also on Thursday. Japan will play Sweden at 7 p.m. Tunisia will play the Netherlands at 7 p.m. So Netherlands, obviously, with that in the driver's seat in terms of winning the group, but nothing has been decided. Any of these 3 teams can still win the group or be in third place. Jeez. Long day for me. Did we even talk about it? For those of you that don't know, my wife surprised me on Father's Day with tickets to Norway, Senegal. So I had a very late night. We were at the World Cup. It was an absolutely incredible experience, and I look forward to hopefully getting to another game, whether it's this tournament or a future tournament. But I am definitely running on fumes with this. So overall thoughts for you. Netherlands I have as my runner-up in the World Cup.
No, I'm always a fan of the Orange.
Yep.
I feel like they're going to be taking. I did say I think they were going to. I think it was them that was going to have the best fans.
We did get a couple of shots for the Dutch fans. Japan is Diego's dark horse to advance far. Sweden has been kind of, as you said, very up and down. 5-1 win and a 5-1 loss. So they have 6 goals for, 6 against. And again, Tunisia, the cannon fodder for the other three teams here.
Yep.
All right, moving on. Group G has been another supremely interesting.
This is a
group.
surprise.
Yeah.
Right here.
Egypt behind Mo Salah, leading the group with 4 points. Second place is Iran on 2. Then Belgium also on 2. But due to the goals for tiebreaker, Iran is in second place. And New Zealand on 1 point could potentially, let me see what we have here. So where are these games? These are the Friday night games. So New Zealand,
Is Belgium.
Yeah, New Zealand, Belgium. I'm trying to see what was the New Zealand Egypt result?
Oh, it was Egypt like 3-1? Yeah.
Egypt won. So New Zealand cannot win the group.
Yeah.
But they can finish second still with currently on only 1 point. So they had a very nice 2-2 draw with that was Iran and Belgium again continuing to struggle. Obviously they're getting on in years, but this golden generation from 8 years ago.
I don't know. It's weird. They just can't get anything going.
Nope. They made was that a semifinal in 2014?
Yeah.
No, that's 12 years ago. Semifinal in 2014, and just under Roberto Martinez, kind of struggled a little bit. And despite all the talent that they have available to them, just continue to struggle in international tournaments. All right, Group H, another very interesting group. This group is Spain, Uruguay, Cabo Verde, and Saudi Arabia. Cabo Verde with 2 draws. And I don't know what part of this is more surprising, the 2 draws that they have or the fact that they scored 2 goals against Uruguay as well.
Yep.
But Spain lead on 4 points, Uruguay and Cabo Verde both on 2 points, and Saudi Arabia on 1.
What is it? Cabo Verde has to play Saudi Arabia. Right?
Yeah, I believe so, right?
That's crazy. No. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, let's keep going. Yeah,
Yep,
this is Friday, 8 p.m. Cabo Verde.
You're telling me there's a chance that Cabo Verde could essentially take the top spot?
Yeah, I'm trying to see. I'm trying to do this math in my head. So if Cabo Verde win, they're on 5 points.
Yep.
As are Uruguay.
Yep.
They drew, so it would go to goals for. So it would have to be a... I'm trying to think. Yeah, so if Uruguay only win like 1-0 and Cabo Verde put up a big number, I think Cabo Verde could win the group here, which is unheard of in their first ever World Cup, first ever points. Spain has, looked okay, not special. Obviously, Lamine Yamal being nursed back to injury.
They looked themselves in the last game.
They did.
They looked themselves. I think. I think Spain's hoping that kind of catapults them forward because again, we got to remind ourselves in the World Cup that they won, they lost the first game.
Yeah, I mean,
so
it was a slow start, as did Argentina last World Cup, and that's what I keep telling people is, a World Cup is a long tournament. It's 5 weeks. Obviously, you need to get off on the right foot to make it to the knockout rounds. But Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia in their opener last World Cup. It's not unheard of to see teams struggle, in group stage games. Italy, when they won, had some struggles. Obviously, they were an absolute brick wall defensively. But all these teams have their own issues to get through in order to win the World Cup, and you do need some luck along the way. There's no hiding that. So with these Friday 8 p.m. games, Uruguay and Spain, that one should be a very interesting match in terms of the dynamics and just the star quality in there, as well as both teams needing points to move on. Group I. So this was the group of matches that I saw. France and Norway level on 6 points. Both have advanced into the knockout rounds. It's just a matter of who's first and who's second. Senegal and Iraq not yet eliminated, both on 0 points. Iraq, I think with their goal difference is probably out.
Yeah.
Senegal does have a chance here to make some noise. I still think it's too little too late for them, but They are not
I mean,
mathematically.
again, France and Norway already know that if they draw, it's done.
Right.
So.
Well,
yeah.
They're already guaranteed first and second. It's just a matter of who goes where in the knockout round.
If it even takes.
Yeah. Didier Deschamps, it was just announced, will not be managing the team in their third group stage match.
Yes, he's on his way to
on a bereavement leave for one of his parents. Was it his mother, I think? I don't recall now, and I don't want to misspeak. But Didier Deschamps will be tending to a family, a death in the family, and not on the pitch or on the sideline, I guess, for their match against Norway. Norway Senegal match was plenty of fireworks.
Yes,
lots of action. A brace from Erling Haaland, and also let's talk about the multi-goal games that we've seen so far in this World Cup. We've seen a hat trick and a brace from Messi. We've seen 2 braces from Erling Haaland.
Yep.
2 braces from Kylian Mbappe. Who else? I think is there
Havertz had a brace.
Kai Havertz had a brace. But did someone else have 2? Let's see.
I don't think so.
World Cup.
Holland?
Oh, no,
Holland, Mbappe, Messi?
Is that?
No. Who's leading in scoring right now?
It's Messi.
Well, no. I'm saying like what's
the Golden Boot race.
So you're telling me if they take out Messi that Argentina won't score any goals?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, so it's the 3 of them. But the fact that all 3 of them have multiple multi-goal games, and let me see if I have this right, they've all been on the same day as well, right? So
yes.
They all
France,
were
Norway,
yesterday, and then their first match. Yeah, so the fact that this is happening, and one thing that you get, we talk about this with finals, they can be very boring. All we want, I think, for the most part, as a neutral fan in a World Cup, is you want the stars to shine. And we've seen it now. Messi with 2 braces. Mbappe with 2 braces. Haaland with 2 braces. Messi obviously with a hat trick and a brace. Cristiano scored 2 today.
Kane scored 2. Havertz scored 2.
So to see the stars that make the World Cup as marketable as it is, really showing that is just spells more success.
Well, not just that. Like, you also got the assists, right? You got Declan Rice making an assist off the corner. His typical assist.
Wait, what?
Odegaard making an assist off the corner and an assist off, on open play.
And speaking of which, Odegaard, brilliant player. He obviously is the captain of Norway.
Full 90 minutes.
Played the full 90, and after the win yesterday and advancing into the knockout rounds, he led the Norway fan base in the Viking row. So I've posted my version of it onto social media. Whether you look at mine or anyone else's, it is a sight to see. The huge fan base from Norway in the crowd, cheering along, doing the rowing chant with Martin Odegaard, as did the rest of the team. Also, they were all sat inside the 18-yard box doing the rowing themselves as well. So it was a really cool sight to see. And one of the things that you don't see in the club game is these different cultures coming together. So at any rate, that does it for Group I. Let's move on to Group J. This is another group that played yesterday: Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan.
Yep.
Argentina, by virtue of their 2 wins and yet to concede a goal, also, by the way, has advanced automatically into the round of 32. Austria and Algeria level on 3 points, and Jordan, another one of the teams that has been officially eliminated from the Cup. Their third matches will take place. They are in the Saturday grouping. They are the late kickoffs on Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern. Algeria against Austria, Jordan against Argentina. A lot of debate whether they'll rest Messi and a lot of the stars of the Argentina squad against an already eliminated Jordan. By virtue of the tiebreaker in this World Cup being head-to-head, Argentina has already beaten Austria and Algeria, so they, even if they're level on points, cannot be caught. despite any amount of goal difference. But Austria and Algeria obviously both fighting for points, and
I'm sure the Messi fans will get upset about me saying this, but had he not missed that penalty, he would have had 2 hat tricks.
He would. Very. I mean, I only caught, from a weird angle that match. So I caught some of that penalty. It looked like he was trying to out hesitate the goalkeeper, and the goalkeeper kind of called his bluff. So good for him on that. But again, came back and scored 2 Messi-like goals. Yep. And Algeria, has a lot of talent there. Riyad Mahrez, et al. They have a lot of good, solid talent there. So that Algeria-Austria match, I think, will have a lot of impact and be a very exciting one. Yep. Over to Group K, which is only halfway through their second matches. The other match is the late match tonight. Yep. But that is Portugal, Colombia, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Uzbekistan. Uzbekistan, I believe, with their loss to Portugal earlier today, has officially been knocked out. Portugal now on 4 points between that and their draw with DR Congo. Colombia and DR Congo set to play late tonight. Colombia on 3 points right behind Portugal. DR Congo on 1 point, so still plenty to play for with them. Is that the result that Portugal needed to kind of set their tone for the rest of this World Cup? It was a big 5.
Internally, I want to say no.
Okay.
But it could have been.
5-0 victory, 2 goals from Cristiano, 6th and 39th minute. Nuno Mendes in the 17th minute, a brilliant free kick. A 60th minute own goal, which was kind of a comedy of errors for Uzbekistan. And then maybe most importantly for Portugal, obviously we've talked at length about the incredible midfield they have with Vitinha, Nuno Mendes, and Bruno Fernandes, as well as Cristiano Ronaldo, obviously. But Rafael Leao gets on the score sheet. He has endured a terrible year for AC Milan. Only a couple years removed from being the Serie A Player of the Year that AC Milan won the league. So for him to get going as a out-and-out forward could be just the linchpin that Portugal need, in front of that midfield. So obviously Colombia, we will have the match on upstairs with Diego late tonight. They could get back into the driver's seat with that match against DR Congo, and then all to play against Portugal in the final round. Yeah. All right, Group L, the final group, with a few minutes to go here. England, Ghana, Croatia, and Panama. This group also still with a match left, although they are probably now kicked off already, right? I just have to refresh this and see where we are at here. Where am I here? Right, that's a 7 o'clock kickoff. Yeah, it's in the 23rd minute. No score as of yet. 58% possession for Croatia. So England and Ghana with a scoreless draw leaves them both on 4 points. You would have to say 2 points squandered there for the English national team. Harry Kane had some great chances late in the match, and between just a couple misshits here and there, and Ghana's resolute defense and goalkeeping could not break the door down and get that goal to get all 3. Where do we think this goes from here, depending on this Panama-Croatia result as well?
I don't know. I do know that England was very lucky in the last match. They had Ghana blinking out their own shot on goal.
Yep.
They missed that. That could have been a penalty chance from a flying kick that the guy looked like to take down the player in the box. I think Croatia takes this game, and then it's all to play for in the next round.
Yeah.
Again, England's gonna have to go out. I mean, but again, they only have to play. They play against Panama next, right?
England play against Panama. Yes.
Okay. So I think England has the easier route to play.
Oh, sure. I agree with that.
But again, it's still all to play for.
Yeah. And for the record, all 4 of us, you, myself, Erin, and Diego, all picked England as the top 10 team to be, we said it crash out basically, but the the first team eliminated from those top 10. So
I mean, you didn't really put it as eliminated. You put it as to have a bad tournament. And again, I think if England doesn't pull anything out against Panama, it just goes to show you that they're not doing what they were expected to do.
Right.
I mean, again, just against today, right? They put so many against 11 guys in the box, but you put so many shots on. Harry Kane missing a wide open chance.
Yeah,
it's rough.
Yep. So at that point, that is going to do it for us. We have successfully run the gamut of all 12 groups.
Yes.
During the World Cup, we will not be spending the time to do 100 miles to home. We're not going to do what's on tap because, as you know, we are going to have just about every single World Cup match live here in the tap room. I will do one for the road, though. So my one for the road, July 1st. The next, I shouldn't say the next, the USA round of 32 match. We will be live here outside again, outdoor party and indoor. We are working on some extra special vendors for food and drink. But stay tuned for all that info in our socials. Make sure you catch all of the content that I dropped for the World Cup match that I went to yesterday. Follow us, like, subscribe, and share. If you're looking for video, it is YouTube and Twitch. Just Audio is Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Catch us on Instagram, catch our Discord, get us on TikTok, Facebook, and I think that about does it. Yeah. Any requests for... let's talk about Arsenal. Do we have a unofficial local supporters club here for Arsenal? Unofficial.
Unofficially, the email has been made.
Yes.
We have become the Hudson Valley Arsenal.
Yes.
A couple of emails have been written. Work to get that email out as soon as possible.
But
and then start handing it out to people so that it can become a part of the email chain.
Official status from the club or not, we will be featuring Arsenal as an addition to our supporters club fan base here. So if you are an Arsenal supporter and local to the area and want a spot to watch the matches with fellow Gunners, Newburgh Brewing Company is your spot for that. So thank you to Aaron for kind of taking that on. I've already heard from a couple other people that not only are they interested, but willing to also help.
Yep.
So that is always a welcome addition. Many hands make light work, especially when it comes to, the early weekend matches and stuff. So kudos for doing that. Looking forward to continuing to grow, obviously not just Hudson Valley Arsenal, but just the fan base that we have in general here at CDU Newburgh. That's going to do it for us this evening. We're almost exactly at 1 hour, and we will catch you obviously in the tap room, hopefully Thursday evening for the USA-Turkey A match.
Yes.
If not, we will see you right here live in our studio Monday evening, unless I'm at another World Cup match, for A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. Thank you guys for listening. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Naz, for being beside me today. Thank you, Diego, upstairs, for holding it down for the Croatia-Panama match. And we will see you all soon. Cheers.